Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. The USC commitment sweatshirt makes its way back out as USC Lincoln Riley land the commitment from four-star wide receiver Tanook Hines from the state of Texas. And if I were to sell the USC fans on wide receiver Tanook Hines, it probably would start with the 10.45 in the 100-meter dash, one of the fastest wide receivers that you see in the 2025 cycle, but a guy that not only is just a straight line linear athlete, yes, he can work vertically down the field. When you turn on the film for Tanook Hines, this is a guy that operates with the football in his hands exceptionally well, not only with the speed, but with the contact balance, with the short area quicks. There's a lot of different ways that you can get Tanook Hines involved in this USC offense. And what a better spot for him to wind up than Lincoln Riley, who, again, just knows how to use his weapons and maximize his weapons on the offensive side of the football. And I mean, as we've talked USC in this 2025 cycle, one of the things that is standing out to me the most is USC is chasing guys with physical traits. So you look at offensive lineman Elijah Vicona, right? Low three-star prospect, but has a unique set of traits, including that massive frame that he has. You look at Tanook Hines, I mean, not necessarily a top 100 national prospect, but 6'1", 185, is one of the fastest wide receivers in 2025. Lincoln Riley, I think, is saying in this 2025 class, give me the premier athletes, give me guys with stuff that you can't teach. We'll get them to be good football players. I'm a massive fan of what USC's building in this 2025 cycle. Going to get into the film with Tanook Hines and, talk about what he brings to this USC offense. Before we do, and as always, just want to say thank you to you guys, to the USC fans. You guys continue to show a ton of love, a ton of support, whether it's film deep dives, whether it's breaking down commitments on the recruiting trail. I can't thank you guys enough. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And without further ado, let's get into Tanook Hines, a guy that only played 5 games during his junior year. So I think there's a lot of meat left on the bone, if you will, for a guy like Tanook Hines heading into his senior year. When you dive into the junior film, and again, a relatively small sample size, you see a couple of different things that you like. One, starting with the speed. It is very obvious that he is able to translate the track and field speed to the football field. We say this a lot. You see some track and field kids that just put on a shoulder pad and helmets, and then you see football players with the track and field background. Tanook Hines is much more of a football player with the track and field background. He knows how to translate that speed, whether it's working vertically, whether it's operating with the football in his hands. And I think, secondly, he's got a really nice frame. At 6'1", 185, you see him routinely go up and make catches at the catch point. And this is a guy that, again, I think has some work to do in terms of filling out that 6'1" frame, sitting only at 185 pounds. You get him into that weight room, get him up to around 200 pounds. This is a wide receiver that not only going to be really fast, but he's going to be dominant at the catch point. And then the last thing that I have in my notes, him after the catch, again, it's not only the speed, it's the ability to work through contact. Again, you kind of just assume a longer, wiry track and field background wide receiver that probably not going to be the most physically imposing ball carrier. He works after contact and deals with contact when he has the football in his hands extremely well. You can give him screens. You can give him end arounds. Let him be just a playmaker with the football in his hands. That's what stands out to me the most about Tanook Hines. You get into the film. I think first, the body control, the vertical speed, right? This is a guy that if you do not respect what he can do working vertically down the field, putting a safety over top, he's going to win. Now, not only with the speed, but you're going to take a look here. Let's talk about the ball skills and the body control, going up, readjusting to that football, and then physical after the catch. This is a guy that's not necessarily the biggest kind of put together wide receiver. The contact balance that he has, a load to bring down for defensive backs, that's something you like. And then work in the middle of the field, he's got a big catch radius. This is a guy that you can work the middle of the field with, is a big target over the middle of the field. And then you see the physicality after the catch. And again, a guy that not necessarily the most put together wide receiver as we speak right now, but shows a tremendous ability to stay on his feet. And then obviously when he gets to the open ground, he is going to put the burners on. A lot of different ways that we see Tanook Hines win, which is different. When we talk about a lot of these super fast wide receivers, they're normally one-trick ponies. Tanook Hines wins a lot of different ways. Like, you see the ability to separate late. And if you want to just go man coverage with no safety over top, it's going to be a nightmare for opposing defenses. You see the ability to separate late in this route tree, go run underneath the football. There's just not a lot of guys that can deal with the speed that Tanook Hines brings to the table. You see on special teams as well. I didn't want to comp him to Zachariah Branch, but again, you see the playmaking ability with the football in his hands. If you take a bad angle, like most of this kick return defense takes, I mean, he's going to make you pay. And again, being a playmaker with the football, sifting through traffic, staying on his feet, the contact balance is absolutely incredible for a kid like Tanook Hines. Another thing that I like, again, in the red zone, let's just throw him up a little back shoulder fade. Let him go be physical at the catch point. Not necessarily the most put together wide receiver, but a guy that can go up at the catch point and make some plays. I'm a really big fan of Tanook Hines. I'm a big fan of the versatility that you can use him in this offense. I'm pretty sure we already seen this play. But again, put the hand up, go up. You get to see from the all-22 kind of physical after the catch point, and we're going to turn on the Jets. Nobody's going to catch him into the end zone. Last rep I want to talk about right here. Let's create some separation. We said at the top, he's not just a linear wide receiver. He's a guy that can create separation. Right here, man coverage in the red zone. I mean, you look at Tanook Hines right here, a guy that when you fire this play up here, little stick route here, and he's just going to create some separation. Short area quicks, the ability to separate in the red zone, get into the end zone. A lot of things to like about Tanook Hines. And you go to the 2025 cycle, again, it's the value of the physical traits. It's obviously headlined by Julian Lewis, who, again, we've talked about it, probably should be a 5-star quarterback. Not really sure why he gets knocked down after having the junior season and the Elite 11 performance that he had. But I don't think Lincoln Riley cares about the recruiting rankings. I think they know Julian Lewis is their guy. You start to scroll down and say traits, right? Romaro Ison, guy that runs a 10.8 in the 100-meter dash. Riley Wormley, track and field background. You continue to scroll down, and some of these guys that might not necessarily be top 100 national prospects. Shamar Arnaud from Carleton, Georgia, same high school, Julian Lewis. He's 6'2", he's 180. He has a track and field background. He's got the length. He's got the long speed. There's a lot of guys that make up this USC class that are not necessarily top 100 prospects, but have some really, really sneaky physical traits that they bring to the table. Guys like Elijah Vicona as well, 6'8", 370 pounds. USC's betting on some upside with some of these kids from the high school ranks, and now it's the coaching staff's job to get these kids developed to the highest level. A lot of potential in this 2025 class. That's my biggest takeaway for this USC program. We'll cut it there. I think it's going to be busy. Again, you look at USC, there's still some wood to chop in this 2025 class, and for USC fans, this could really heat up towards the end of the 2024 season. And what I mean by that, if USC shows that they can compete at the highest level of the Big Ten, I think it's going to make a lot of these high school kids look at this USC program a little bit differently than what they're looking at this USC program right now. So I think there's some opportunity towards the last couple of months of this 2025 cycle for USC to really capitalize on some momentum. We'll cut it there. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. Again, if y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.